Hey there, and welcome. If you're gearing up for IGCSE Maths, you are in exactly the right place. Today, we're going to unpack the entire 0580 syllabus and give you a super clear roadmap of everything you need to know.
So you're probably asking yourself, what's actually in the IGCSE mathematics syllabus? Yeah, it can seem like this giant mountain you've got to climb, but trust me, it's not as scary as it looks.
We're going to break it all down piece by piece. Think of this as your personal roadmap to success, guiding you through every single topic. Ready? Let's dive in.
All right, so first things first. Before we even get into the topics, there's a really important choice you need to make. See, the course is tiered, which basically means you get to pick the path that's the best fit for you.
Okay, so the syllabus is split into these two paths, core and extended. The core path, that's for anyone aiming for grades C to G. It really focuses on all those essential math skills you'll actually use in life and at work. Now, if you're aiming for those top grades like A star to C, the extended path is for you. This one really builds on the core stuff and gives you a rock-solid foundation if you're thinking about taking maths at A level. So the big takeaway here is to really think about your goals. Where do you want to go? Pick the path that's going to get you there.
Okay, so once you've picked your path, everyone, whether you're core or extended, starts with the same fundamental building blocks. Let's jump into the two absolute cornerstones of the whole syllabus, number and algebra.
So we're starting with number. This is the absolute bedrock of maths. It's basically the language we use for everything else. It's all about really getting to grips with what numbers are and how they work.
Right, so in this topic, you're going to become totally fluent in the world of numbers. We're talking about everything from spotting primes and integers to easily switching between fractions, decimals, and percentages. And it gets super practical, too. You'll be using ratios, doing calculations with time and money, and even learning how to make smart estimates. Honestly, these aren't just skills for an exam. These are life skills. This is the stuff that helps you manage your money later on.
All right, next up, algebra and graphs. I love this analogy. If number is the vocabulary of math, then you can think of algebra as its grammar. It's this super powerful tool we use to describe how things are related and, of course, to solve all kinds of problems. And believe me, this isn't just classroom stuff. Algebra is the backbone of everything from coding video games to figuring out the stock market.
So, what will you master here? Well, you'll learn how to play around with algebraic expressions, simplifying them, expanding brackets, which is totally key for solving equations. You'll get good at solving different kinds of equations, spotting patterns and sequences, and, the really cool part, you'll learn to see it all visually by drawing and understanding graphs. This is seriously where math just pops off the page and becomes something you can see.
Okay, we've tackled numbers and symbols. Now let's get visual and explore the world of shapes and space. This is all about geometry, where math becomes something you can actually see and touch.
We kick things off with coordinate geometry. Think of it like this. It's basically giving shapes an address on a map, or a grid. It's the perfect bridge connecting the world of algebra with the world of geometry.
So in this part, you'll get really comfortable with the good old x and y axes, plotting points and drawing straight lines just from their equations. And you'll master a super important idea called the gradient, which is really just a fancy word for how steep a line is. It's a simple concept, but wow, is it powerful.
Next up, we've got a big trio: geometry, mensuration, and trigonometry. These three topics are all about one thing: understanding the properties of shapes and figuring out how to measure them. Basically, these are the tools you use to describe and measure the world around you.
Man, the practical skills you'll pick up here are just huge. You'll be calculating angles, using bearings to find your way. You'll even be spotting symmetry in 2D shapes. And of course, you'll be measuring everything: perimeter, area, surface area, volume, the whole shebang. And then you'll meet the two superstars of geometry: good old Pythagoras and his theorem, and of course, sine, cosine, and tangent. These are your go-to tools for solving pretty much any problem involving triangles. All right, the last stop on our Shapes in Space tour is all about movement. This is where we dive into transformations and vectors. It sounds complicated, but it's just about how shapes can move and change on a grid. This is another one of those really visual topics. You'll learn the 4 main ways you can move a shape around without actually changing the shape itself. You can reflect it, like in a mirror, rotate it around a single point, enlarge it, making it bigger or smaller, or translate it, which is just a fancy way of saying you slide it to a new spot using a vector.
And for our final section, we're moving into what is maybe one of the most important parts of math today: how we deal with data, uncertainty, and chance in the real world.
Let's kick things off with probability. This is basically the math of chance. It's what helps us figure out how likely something is to happen. Anything from flipping a coin to trying to predict tomorrow's weather.
So you'll learn how to put probability on a scale, from 0, which means it's impossible, all the way to 1, which means it's absolutely certain to happen. You'll calculate the odds of simple things happening, and then you'll get to use some really cool tools like tree diagrams and Venn diagrams to figure out the probability of more complex stuff. It's a really, really cool part of maths.
And our final topic is statistics. You know, if probability is all about predicting the future, then statistics is about making sense of what's already happened and what's happening right now. It's the science of gathering data, looking at it, and figuring out what it all means. This is where you get to be a data detective. You'll learn how to calculate different kinds of averages, like the mean, median, and mode, and, more importantly, when to use each one. You'll be drawing and reading all sorts of charts, bar charts, pie charts, to tell a story with data. You'll even learn how to spot relationships between two things by looking at scatter diagrams. Seriously, in a world that runs on data, these skills are just golden. They're valuable for pretty much any career you can think of.
So there you have it. That's the entire roadmap, laid out from start to finish. 9 core topics, and each one builds on the last, step by step.
I know, it might look like a lot all at once, but every single part is connected. You're going to go on this journey from the very basics, the language of numbers, all the way to analyzing really complex real-world data. It's a complete mathematical adventure, and let me tell you, you can absolutely do this.
So, the roadmap is clear. The path is set. The only question left is, are you ready to get started and conquer this challenge?
Fundoo Tutor is a personalized learning platform that helps students succeed in Cambridge, IB, and other international curriculums with expert mentorship, structured learning support, and engaging resources.